The orchard encounter. The first crisp bite of an apple from the topmost branch of the tree echoed through the orchard, a pattern of sweetness and tartness that seemed to dance in the cool fall air. It was a place where the whispers of leaves mingled with the laughter of children and the gentle hum of adult chatter. This was my sanctuary, a place where I could escape the dreary confines of my apartment and the never-ending scroll of my phone. The orchard was my canvas, and today, it was painted in the warm hues of autumn. Oops! I heard a giggle from the tree beside me. Glancing over, I saw the leaves rustle as a young girl with hair the color of freshly picked corn husks peeked out from behind the thick trunk. Looks like someone's enjoying their day more than me, I thought, smiling to myself. I continued filling my basket with the plumpest, most appealing apples, each one a testament to the hard work of the orchard owner and the bountiful season. "Mama!" the girl called out, her voice as bright and cheerful as the red apple she had in her hand. A moment later, a woman emerged from the tree, her eyes sparkling with mirth. She had the same golden hair, the same spark of life in her gaze. "I'm sorry," she began, her voice as warm as fresh apple cider. "Rhea here decided to play hide and seek with me." Summary: 1. Olivia, the protagonist, is at a local orchard, her favorite place in fall. A young blonde girl, Rhea, runs into her giggling. Rhea's mother, Andrea, appears and Olivia is immediately smitten by her beauty. They bond over apple picking and discussing their love for the season and cooking. We exchanged pleasantries, and I found myself drawn to the pair. Their laughter was infectious, their joy palpable. The girl, barely 3 years old, had an energy that could outshine the sun, while her mother, Andrea, had a serene grace that belied the chaos of motherhood. The orchard, usually a solitary retreat, suddenly felt like a stage for an unexpected connection. Little did I know that the giggles of a child and the warmth of a mother's smile would soon weave themselves into the fabric of my life, creating a tapestry more vibrant and beautiful than any fall foliage. As the afternoon grew long, we decided to call it a day. Our baskets were brimming with apples, and Rhea's yawns were growing as wide as the smiles on our faces. "How about we share a pie?" I suggested, eager to extend the sweetness of the day. "My place isn't far, and I'd love to make some use of these." Andrea's eyes lit up at the offer, and Rhea clapped her hands in excitement. "That sounds lovely," she said. "But let's do it another time. We've had such a busy morning. I think we all need a little rest." I nodded, understanding the unspoken words behind her smile. We had only just met, and she was already considering a future with shared apple pies. Summary: 1. Olivia, the protagonist, suggests sharing apple pie at her place, hinting at a future together. However, considering they've just met, she respects Andrea's need to keep things at a slower pace and agrees to another time, while understanding the potential for more than friendship. We parted ways with a promise to meet again soon. As I drove home, the weight of the apples in my truck seemed to mirror the weight of the emotions in my heart. The orchard had given me more than just a harvest for the season. It had given me the possibility of new beginnings. I parked in the driveway, the scent of the apples filling the cabin like a warm embrace from an old friend. I couldn't wait to see what recipes these apples would inspire, and who I would be sharing them with. The days grew shorter, but the anticipation grew stronger. Our first date was set for the following weekend, and the orchard was to be our backdrop once more. I had a feeling that this season of harvest would yield more than just fruit. It would also harvest a love I never knew I needed. As the leaves fell and the air grew crisp, the orchard would remain a symbol of hope, a place where chance encounters could blossom into something beautiful and everlasting. The week passed in a whirlwind of preparation and excitement. I couldn't help but think of the apple pies my grandmother used to make, the ones that brought warmth to our house and smiles to our faces. I wanted to share that warmth with Andrea and Rhea. I spent hours poring over recipes, looking for the perfect combination of flavors that would reflect the sweetness of our budding friendship. I decided on a caramel apple pie. The richness of the caramel, a nod to the depth of emotion I felt growing inside me. Summary: 1. Olivia returns home with the apples, feeling hopeful for the future. They plan a date at the same orchard for the following weekend. In anticipation, Olivia thinks about her grandmother's apple pies and decides to make a caramel apple pie, symbolizing their growing relationship and the depth of her feelings for Andrea and Rhea. The day of the date arrived, and I found myself standing in front of the orchard gates, the sun casting a warm glow over the landscape. The smell of roasting apple cider filled the air, and I knew that the orchard had once again donned its festive attire for us. I watched as Andrea's car pulled up, and my heart skipped a beat. Rhea spotted me first, her eyes lighting up like the candles on a birthday cake. She squealed and ran towards me, her mother following at a more sedate pace, a knowing smile on her lips. We spent the afternoon wandering through the rows of trees, their branches heavy with fruit. Rhea's laughter was the sweetest music, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of belonging. We picked apples together, sharing stories of our past and dreams for the future. The warmth of the sun on our faces and the coolness of the shade beneath the branches created a cocoon of intimacy that wrapped around us. As the light began to fade, we sat on the tailgate of my truck, the stars peeking through the canopy of leaves. I looked at the two of them, feeling a connection that went beyond words. Summary: 1. On their date at the orchard, Olivia feels a deepening connection with Andrea and Rhea as they enjoy apple picking together. The intimate setting and joyful moments with Rhea's laughter create a sense of belonging and shared happiness between them. That night, as we shared the caramel apple pie I had made, the warmth of the kitchen was only surpassed by the warmth of our hearts. Rhea's eyes grew heavy with sleep, and I offered to drive them home. As I pulled into their driveway, I knew that this was just the beginning of a beautiful journey. I carried Rhea to the door, her head resting on my shoulder, and whispered goodbye into her ear. Turning to Andrea, I felt the weight of the moment, the gravity of what could be. She took my hand, and in the soft glow of the porch light, we shared a kiss that was as sweet and as tender as the apple blossoms that had started this whole adventure. The orchard encounter had become so much more than a simple fall activity. It had become the catalyst for a love that had been waiting to bloom, hidden among the branches of our lonely lives. And as the final leaves fell, we knew that we had been found by something greater than ourselves. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of stolen moments, shared laughs, and secret kisses. The orchard had become our sanctuary, a place where the world could fade away, and it was just the three of us: Olivia, Andrea, and Rhea. Each trip brought us closer together, our hearts entwined like the branches of the trees around us. The cool fall air turned to the briskness of winter, but the warmth between us only grew stronger. Christmas approached, and the orchard, now dormant for the season, was transformed into a winter wonderland. The bare trees were strung with lights, and the scent of pine and cinnamon filled the air. It was here, under the twinkling lights and the watchful gaze of the apple trees, that I knew without a doubt that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with them. The magic of the season had seeped into our very souls, and we were ready to make a commitment that would last longer than the apple harvest. I had been planning it for weeks, the perfect proposal. I waited until we were all together, Ria's eyes wide with wonder at the beauty of the orchard at night. "Andrea," I began, my voice shaking with emotion, "I know this might seem sudden, but I can't imagine a future without you and Ria by my side." I got down on one knee, the cold ground biting through my jeans, and pulled out a small box. Inside was a ring that I had designed, an intricate band of silver with a single apple blossom made of gold, a symbol of our love born in this very place. "Will you marry me?" Her eyes filled with tears. She took a deep breath, looking down at the ring and then back up at me. "Yes," she whispered, her voice as soft as a snowflake landing on a leaf. "Yes, Olivia, I'll marry you." Ria, not understanding the gravity of the moment, squealed in delight and clapped her hands, jumping up and down. But as she saw the joy in our faces, she knew something wonderful had happened. That night, in the glow of the orchard lights, we became a family, bound not just by the apples we picked but by the love we had found in one another. The months that followed were a blur of wedding planning, late-night talks, and early morning apple pies. We decided to marry in the orchard, under the same tree where Ria had first run to me. The blossoms would be in full bloom, a testament to the beauty of new beginnings. Our friends and family gathered around us, their smiles reflecting the love we had found in the most unexpected of places. The day was perfect, the sun shining down like a warm embrace from the heavens. As we exchanged our vows, I couldn't help but feel the presence of my grandmother, her spirit wafting through the air like the sweet scent of apple blossoms. It was as if she were whispering her approval, her love surrounding us like a warm blanket. And as I kissed my bride with Ria watching on, her little hand in ours, I knew that the orchard had given us a gift that would last a lifetime. Our love had grown from the seeds of chance, watered by the tears of loss, and now it stood tall, a beautiful tree that would weather any storm. The orchard encounter had led us to the most beautiful season of all, the season of love. And as we danced under the branches of the apple trees, surrounded by the people we cherished, I knew that every apple picked, every giggle shared, had led us to this moment. Our hearts were full, and our future looked as bright as the sun shining down on the orchard that had brought us together. The months that followed were a symphony of new beginnings and shared moments. We watched Ria grow, her laughter and curiosity a reminder of the joy that love can bring. We continued our weekly visits to the orchard, the place where it had all started, sharing stories, picking apples, and dreaming of the future that lay before us. The seasons changed, the orchard grew quiet, but our love remained, a constant through the cold winter and the rebirth of spring. We decided to start our own tradition, a small farm stand at the orchard where we sold the apples we picked and the treasures we made from them. The pies, the jams, the wine, and the love that went into each creation brought happiness to the people of our little town. Our little business grew, and so did our family. With each passing season, we watched Ria grow stronger and more curious, her eyes always searching for new adventures, just like the day she had found me. Years went by, and the orchard remained our sanctuary, a place where time stood still, and love continued to bloom. Our family grew with the addition of 2 more little ones, twins who brought an extra dash of sweetness to our lives. The orchard was their playground, the trees their friends, and the apples their treasure. As they grew, they learned the art of love and patience from the very roots that had taught us. And so, Apple of My Eye became more than just a story about a chance meeting. It became the name of our family's legacy. Our love grew as strong and as timeless as the orchard itself, and in every apple picked, every pie baked, and every laugh shared, we knew that we had been blessed by the magic of that fateful October day. The orchard was no longer just a place of work or play. It was our home, our heart, the very essence of us. And as the seasons changed, so too did our lives, but the love we had found remained constant, a testament to the beauty of love that can be discovered in the most unexpected of places. Our farm stand grew into a thriving business, with locals and tourists alike seeking out our creations. We named it Apple of My Eye, a nod to the moment that had started it all. It became a place where families gathered, where friendships were made, and where love stories began. We taught our children the importance of hard work, of giving back to the land that had given us so much, and of cherishing the people who walked beside us through life's journey. As the years rolled by, we watched our children learn and grow, their laughter echoing through the orchard. Rhea grew into a young woman with a passion for cooking, often helping her mother and I in the kitchen, creating new apple recipes that brought smiles to the faces of those who tasted them. Our twins, born under the same blossoming tree that had been our witness, grew into curious and adventurous souls, their eyes sparkling with the excitement of the world around them. The orchard was now a tapestry of memories, each tree a chapter in our love story. The branches held secrets of kisses stolen in the quiet of the night, of whispered promises, and of dreams shared under the warm embrace of the sun. The apples were no longer just fruit. They were the sweetness of our love, the essence of our bond, and the promise of a future filled with happiness. Apple of My Eye had become not just our story, but a beacon of hope and love for all who visited. And so, as we stood on the porch of our cozy farmhouse, hand in hand, watching our children play among the trees, we knew that the orchard had given us more than we could ever repay. The seasons had painted a picture of our lives, each stroke filled with the warmth of the sun and the chill of the winter, but the colors remained vibrant and true. Our hearts swelled with gratitude as we whispered to each other, "Thank you, orchard," knowing that without its embrace, we would never have found our way to each other. And as the sun set, casting long shadows over the rows of apple trees, we knew that no matter what the future held, our love would remain as steadfast as the trunks that stood before us, growing stronger with each passing year. The orchard had not only been the setting of our first encounter, but had grown to be the foundation of our life together. The name Apple of My Eye was more than just a whimsical phrase. It had become a declaration of our unending devotion, a symbol of the love that had bloomed between us. It was the love that had grown from the moment Rhea had first giggled and run into my legs, the love that had blossomed as we shared stories and dreams under the very same tree. It was the love that had led to the creation of our beautiful family, and the joy that filled our lives with every turn of the season. The farm stand grew into a place where hearts intertwined, where lovers found refuge in the sweetness of our pies and the warmth of our cider. Our story had become a legend in our small town, a tale of love found in the most unexpected of places. And as the seasons continued to turn and our children grew, we watched new families begin their own traditions within our orchard, their eyes sparkling with the same excitement and hope that had filled ours on that very first day. The apples we picked became a part of their celebrations, the pies a symbol of the love that could grow from the simplest of beginnings. Our orchard had become a symbol of love and new beginnings, a place where the cycle of life continued unabated. The apples grew, we picked them, and in turn they picked us. The branches that had once held our whispers now held the whispers of countless others, their hearts finding solace and joy in the very same spot where we had found each other. The orchard encounter had evolved into a legacy, one that we would continue to nurture and share with every apple picked, every pie baked, and every hand held under the warm embrace of the autumn sun. And as the seasons continued to pass, we knew that our love, like the orchard itself, would stand tall, bearing the most delicious and sweetest fruit for generations to come.